I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on, it's almost halftime.
As we find out that Razorback softball has swept the awards, the SEC postseason awards, that is. And that includes Pitcher of the Year, Shanice Dels, Player of the Year, KB Sides, Coach of the Year.
I wonder if I should let Phil know.
Courtney Deifel.
I didn't know you were in Comrex 2 because I was doing an interview, so I had you like always pulled up on Comrex 1, and we could hear you in Q, and I couldn't figure out what was different with the board, why we couldn't hear you. So
we got you now, loud and clear.
So we're back and we're running and we're good. Okay.
Yeah, now we're on the air. So
I can remember all the things that I just said.
I mean, well, a minute and a half that you weren't, that people couldn't hear you.
Oh my God,
phenomenal.
It was gold.
I mean,
it was so good.
It brought tears to my eyes.
Like, for the listeners, I'm sorry, you're just gonna have to take our word for it. It
was
really good stuff.
I appreciate you getting it going as best as you could. So let me see. I was talking. I said this is our long week without a game is over. That's only for Arkansas baseball. Softball played last night in the SEC tournament.
So
it wasn't at the time that we thought they would play, which is what I guaranteed would happen yesterday because softball games are so much quicker, and I was pretty sure they were going to play at 5:30. Heck, they were still playing by the time I fell asleep last night.
Ooh.
And I must have fallen asleep, I don't know, 10:30, 10:40. They were still playing, and I had the game on television. So it was a much later night at Katie Seashole Stadium in Gainesville than was expected. And I wonder if the team has even woken up yet after a lengthy night to find that they've swept the postseason awards outside of Freshman of the Year. So I guess you can't say they swept the awards, but 3 out of 4 is pretty close to sweeping postseason awards.
3 out of 4 ain't bad. I mean, it's definitely showing the progress that Courtney Deifel and that program has really made, and that they're going to be a front runner when the tournament starts and the regionals, headed to super regionals. And everything is setting up for this to be the first trip to not Omaha, Oklahoma City. I think that you've got all the awards, you've got the record, you're playing some of the best ball you've played all year right now. I mean, this team is primed to make it to OKC.
6 Razorbacks made the All-SEC first team, led by Shanice Dels, who is Pitcher of the Year. And you could also say co-led by KB Sides, the Alabama transfer who's now SEC Player of the Year. But it's like, take your pick. Amongst this team, Linny Malkin who now takes over as the all-time home run leader in Arkansas softball history, is also on that list. She probably got some votes for Player of the Year. Would assume Mary Half got some votes for Pitcher of the Year. Daniel Gibson, Hannah Gamble, all on the SEC first team. And then it just seems, doesn't it seem right that Courtney Deifel is Coach of the Year?
Obviously.
It's not a matter of just, that she turned the program around and everything, that they have been the dominant team in the SEC this year. Regular season champions. They've got tonight's a tough one in the semifinals because you're playing a good Florida team that's looking for revenge on you after Arkansas swept them, and you're playing in Florida's ballpark. And they'll pack it in. They will jam-pack that stadium. I saw when Arkansas baseball played in Florida recently. I drove away, and they were still wrapping up a softball series on that Sunday afternoon, and I swear to God, it looked like there were more people at the softball game than the baseball game.
Oh, I'm sure I'm sure there was.
Easy for you to say.
I know, exactly. They're hosting for a reason, not just because of the climate and the weather, but because they know that they can sell it out and it's going to look good on TV. And speaking of TV, if you want to watch the game, 4:30 on the Deuce today. So they're on ESPN too.
Now it's only 2 games in the tournament today.
Yes.
So I feel pretty confident in the thought that, yes, it is going to be a 4:30 first pitch. Because the first game of the session yesterday, what was it, 15 innings? I think it was a 15-inning game. That is 2 softball games rolled into 1, adding on another inning. So it took quite a bit longer than they thought. Nice, hey, just you winning your first game because this is the start of the postseason. Just get a nice little roll going and hopefully move on to an SEC championship and then take it from there. All right, we do have the start of the baseball series against Vanderbilt today, 6:30 first pitch, 6 o'clock airtime on most of the stations you're listening to right now. We will be talking a little bit of college baseball with noted college baseball guy Aaron Torres at the bottom of the hour.
I mean, he lives for it. He eats, sleeps, and breathes it.
For about a month out of the year, he does, and because his UConn Huskies team is the front runner for the Big East championship, and might have an argument to host a regional, maybe. We'll touch on that with him, but I got to ask him about this because I heard about this morning. Texas A&M baseball, Jim Schlossnagle, the head coach. Now they are making a push to host a regional.
Yeah, I think in Kendall Rogers they were the 9 seed.
That's right.
Yes.
They were the 9 seed, and it's not just a push that they're making for the SEC West. They're trying to host. If you win the West, you're going to host. But Jim Schlossnagle sees a team that's got a 23 RPI ranking. Arkansas's RPI ranking is 19, and they're scheduled for a midweek game Tuesday next week against Incarnate Word. Incarnate Word is not a very good baseball team, at least not this year. They are 18-28, and their RPI ranking is 192. Schlossnagle yesterday admitted they have canceled the game against Incarnate Word only because of their RPI. They have canceled this game because he doesn't want the effect of playing a team that's near 200 ranking in the RPI on their schedule. He's canceled it. And he was upfront about it. It wasn't like, we don't want our pitchers to work. This guy's injured, and looking ahead on Tuesday, there's a 5% chance of rain, so we don't want to play. He admitted it. It was because of RPI, and this literally blows my mind that you take something that's on the schedule that's been planned on. And I understand San Antonio and College Station are not all that far away. But to take a game that you've already scheduled and then to bang it just because you feel that it will help your case for the NCAA selection committee. Like, if I'm a member of the committee now, I look at it as like, they canceled this game to help them. And I don't think it's a very good look. Like, let's transfer what Schlossnagle did to college basketball and the same university, A&M. Buzz Williams. Everybody was crying when A&M didn't make the field of 68, when they were the 69th team and make their run to the NIT tournament championship and all that. Everybody was up in arms about it. They played against a non-Division I team, Dallas Christian College. They played against Central Arkansas, which their RPI was 300 when they played them. If Buzz Williams were to look at that RPI or net ranking in basketball then and say, no, we're going to bang this game, we're not going to play it, do you imagine what the outcry would be? There would be an uproar from that. Nothing on Schlossnagle because it's college baseball.
And I think the committee needs to send a message that this isn't going to be allowed, that you aren't going to be able to schedule one way and then pick and choose how you play non-conference games based on RPI, because that just sets a bad example, especially late in the season. And while teams are trying to make a push, yes, Incarnated Word's not a great baseball team this year, but that's a trip those kids are probably looking forward to going to College Station, getting to play in an SEC type of baseball stadium. I mean, that's not fair to IC, and allowing him to not only do this, but to be as upfront and honest about why he's doing it is my problem. You know, we know that this has probably happened before, but at least there's been excuses. Like you said, arms, we don't want to waste arms, too many guys hurt, chance of rain, you name it, it's probably been said. But to just blatantly come out and say, oh yeah, this is why, there's got to be some type of punishment. And I don't know what it is, but I think the committee definitely needs to take it in when they are reviewing A&M's resume and trying to figure out whether they're worthy of hosting a regional or having the opportunity to host a super regional.
He just front out comes out and says it. I mean, this is a quote from the Eagle newspaper in College Station. He says, "I'm not going to hide from it. I think when the NCAA committee puts such an emphasis on RPI and different things," and he doesn't say what the different things are, and then conference games matter so much, when you get to this time of the year, you have to manage that. RPI is a tool. It is not the only thing that the committee goes by, and that's the same with net rankings. It's just a fact of the matter. It's a tool that they utilize. If it's the most important tool that the NCAA committee uses, well, then Dallas Baptist is going to be the third overall national seed, because Dallas Baptist has the third best RPI ranking. You have to take these rankings with a grain of salt. Not telling you to take it with a half a shaker full or a full shaker full of salt, but it's just a tool for human beings to use. And they also do use the eye test. They do use other metrics, these different things that Schlossnagle points out to. No, the only thing he's doing is about RPI. It's not a fact of them. It's not a matter that, we're going to lose to a bad team or anything like that. He's afraid. He's afraid that the RPI is not good enough, and that this somehow is going to help weight the RPI a little bit better. It's not a good look. It's anti-competitive, and it's weird. It just comes off as weird.
It ultimately is weird. I mean, you're obviously a better team than IC. Just play the game, beat the team, and then don't worry about it. I mean, and while RPI is important when it comes to the committee's decision, just like net ranking is in basketball, how many times has net ranking ever lined up to where a team was seeded in the tournament? I'm going to say less than 1%. Has it actually worked out where a team's net ranking was 25 and then you count out the seedings and, they're the 25th team? Like, it's not an exact science. It's not an exact measurement of what your team is going to be. Now, you want a good net ranking because, like you said, it is a factor, but we've seen teams that have a top 10 net ranking be a 6 seed. We've seen teams that had, get at large bids having a net ranking of 75. There's so many different things that go into how these committees pick the teams and pick the seedings and pick the slots, that to basically try to weight one over the other, it's ridiculous. Just play the game,
your record.
Just play the game.
Including your wins and your losses record. Like, that's the first thing to look at. Is your wins and your losses, how you do in your conference.
Wouldn't you rather have an extra W in the left-hand column?
It's weird.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, A&M is supposed to win this game.
Look, I'll put it this way. I mean, Schlossnagle's a great coach. You don't take TCU to the College World Series 4 straight years and you're not a great coach. A little bit weird. He's a little odd.
A snitch.
Well, I mean, the A&M did something. I don't know if I brought it up on the show. They did something when Arkansas played them. It was before the first game. Schlossnagle was really upfront about, even to his local media about, Arkansas's program is sort of the way that we would like our program to be. That's a great thing to see and hear. But they took, when Arkansas took infield outfield for the first game of that series, Schlossnagle had every one of his players, every Aggie pitcher, every Aggie position player, standing along the left field line in the outfield in uniform, side by side, watching Arkansas take infield outfield.
It's a little creepy.
I've never seen anybody do that before. Like, you want to watch from the dugout, that's different. They watched from the left field line. Like they were stalkers. It was weird. A&M's
like they were peeping Toms.
They were like peeping Toms. That's right, Maddie. And it makes me realize that Schlossnagle's an amazing coach, but he does fit Texas A&M in a little bit of the weirdness factor.
They're weird people.
Yep.
They don't call it a cult for nothing.
877-377-6963 on halftime. Brought to you by Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center. It's at the corner of Wheeler and Y, 803 South Y Street. 479-289-7111 is their number. Get you free on-the-spot estimates. They'll install all types of flooring, carpet, hardwood, vinyl, ceramic, even granite and quartz countertops and installation for all of that. In-stock vinyl plank flooring right now at Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center. Huge quantities available for large or small rooms. You can check them out on Facebook at Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center. They formerly were called Fort Smith Flooring. Halftime is back right after this quick break.
I still have a burning desire to achieve, a national championship here for this university.
And there's a drive by Robert, way back right field. And Robert Moore gives the Razorbacks the lead. They got him at second. It is back to the wall. It is out of here. They are just teeing off. And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Catch all the action all season long on your home for the Razorbacks.
Listen to every Razorback baseball game on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Nobody has more pre-owned trucks than Harry Robinson's Salasol Ford. Work trucks, heavy-duty four-wheel drive trucks, single cab, extended cab, and four-wheel drive crew cab trucks. Fords, Chevys, GMCs, Dodge, Ram, and Nissans. And with historic low interest rates, no payments for 90 days, and the most for your trade, Harry Robinson's Salasol Ford is the only place to buy your next truck. Harry Robinson's Salasol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salasol.
The basketball playoffs are here, and you can wager on all the games with the Bentley Sportsbook from Southland Casino. It's the first online sportsbook live in Arkansas. Visit Bentley.com to sign up and cash in on your up to $250 risk-free first bet. Bentley Online Sports Betting offers real paydays. Place bets on pro and amateur sports, including the local teams with Bentley, BETLY.com, plus you'll get paid in cash. Bentley Arkansas is available on the Apple App Store. Download now for easy action on today's games. Must be 21 or older and located in Arkansas to bet. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Great people, great equipment, great opportunities. That is what you get at Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, Arkansas, with locations at Russellville and Van Buren, with regional OTR and local opportunities for qualified CDL drivers. Make up to $95,000 annually and be a part of a team that embraces the concept of family. Patriot Transport wants you to be successful on the road and at home, working with every driver to ensure they get the miles they want and the family time at home they strive for. Patriot Transport, more than trucking, it's family. Visit patriottransport.com to apply.
Every moment counts. As soon as you test positive for COVID-19, talk to your doctor to see what treatment might be right for you. We now have a variety of options, from monoclonal antibodies to lessen symptom severity and prevent hospitalization, to oral antivirals to treat mild to moderate cases. But the treatments work best the sooner you begin. For more information, go to healthy.arkansas.gov. This message brought to you by the Arkansas Department of Health.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Crush your hunger at TGI Fridays in Fort Smith with the new Chicken Slammers. TGI Fridays Chicken Slammers are chicken fingers tossed in our favorite sauces and tucked into a warm mini New England roll. Served with your favorite sides. Choose your flavor, Italian, buffalo, or whiskey glazed. And for dessert, try the new Peanut Butter Fudge Obsession. Oreo cookie crust, peanut butter fudge, and M&Ms topped with vanilla bean ice cream and more. And don't forget it's happy hour all day every day at your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith at I-540 and Rogers. Order online at Fridays.com.
Save thousands during the storm damage sale at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Over 350 new and pre-owned vehicles were damaged during the recent storm, and now over $1 million in discounts will be passed on to Harry Robinson's customers. Some of the damage is really minor, but the savings are severe. Plus, there are still lots of vehicles that were not damaged in stock. Save thousands on your next vehicle during the storm damage sale at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Every morning just to keep a job, I gotta fight my way through the hustle and hustle. Sounds of the city pounding in my brain while another day goes down the drain. But it's a 5 o'clock world when the whistle blows. No one owns a piece of my time, and there's a 5 o'clock for me inside my clothes, thinking that the world looks fine. Yeah.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at PhilElsonPXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
All right, guys, we can get this out of the way here because of you get freaked out. But let me ask a question.
Okay.
For this to be maybe put a little bit better. Were you scared to leave the house today, Friday the 13th? Did you want to just stay in bed and not allow the direction that some people feel this day is supposed to go in, like keep you home? I never felt like that, but some people get frightened by this.
I like it because television channels like AMC usually will play all the Friday the 13th movies.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, when I woke up this morning, one of these digital movie services had the movies on sale, the first 8 of them for $13, and I bought them. So I'm looking forward to watching at least probably Friday the 13th Part 3, which is actually my favorite one.
Are you going to be able to sleep like a baby after watching all 10 of these movies?
I can't sleep usually anyways, so it's not going to be any different, you know.
How many Friday the 13th movies have there been? Because now we've had Jason taking on Freddy.
Well,
I think I've seen
Part
one.
8 was Jason Takes Manhattan, and then I believe Jason went to hell, and it was really just
and
his
he beat the devil?
I think Jason Takes Manhattan is where the franchise lost.
And then Jason 10, he goes to outer space. So by the time he got to Manhattan, it was starting to fall.
So
off
is it like Jason Takes Manhattan, kind of like basically the same storyline as Home Alone: Lost in New York, where he gets in a limo with a big
a homeless lady with a bunch of pigeons around her.
Got a large cheese pizza.
It's basically
goes to
the
toy
same
store.
movie. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you were a serial
that's how
killer
you take
in New
down
York City,
Manhattan
wouldn't
right
you
there.
get tickets to see Hamilton? I'm sure he got Broadway tickets too.
Instead of stabbing his victims, he just set up traps for him, like buckets that would fall from the ceiling.
Marbles everywhere.
Yeah. They're going to slip and fall themselves to death.
So Friday the 13th doesn't bother you at all?
No, I love it.
I don't. See, here's a weird thing. Like, I am superstitious when it comes to
I'm just a little stitious.
Or like just things. Even doing this show, like sometimes I feel like if I get in a rhythm and I'm sitting in a certain position, then I have to stay in that position for the rest of the show. Like,
is that why you always look uncomfortable, Drew?
I think
it's the
that's
baseball
obsessive compulsive disorder.
No, it's the baseball player in me. It's the you're winning because of this, or you're winning because you think of that type of thing. I don't like to jinx things, but as far as like Friday the 13th,
how do you feel about opening umbrellas inside or walking under ladders or
see those cats? Those things don't bother me. Or breaking mirrors.
Those bother me. I'm very nervous if I have to.
Well, if you break a mirror, then you're just letting the demon out. Because we all know demons live in the mirror.
I think mirrors steal your soul, so I just avoid them anyways.
Yeah.
I had friends that would tell me. Now, keep
I can
in mind,
tell by your outfit.
I grew up in a house that my parents still live, that I've done the radio show from, which is 4 houses away from one of the largest cemeteries in all of Western Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. It could be, if you let it be, a bit of a creepy place to grow up.
Could you film Night of the Living Dead there?
That was filmed outside the city, but you probably could have gotten away with it. Like, there are enough filled graves there, even old ones. I'm talking from like military graves from like the Spanish-American War, that kind of stuff. Pretty amazing stuff. You could go walk through it on Friday the 13th. And I used to be told by my friends that when you drive by a cemetery, you're supposed to hold your breath. So I thought, well, I mean, I live right by one. I mean, I'm not going to make it if I try this. I was never freaked out by it. I was never freaked out by Friday the 13th, and I remember watching those movies even at the age of 8. Maybe that explains some things.
That probably does explain a little bit, because both of you and Maddie, have told me stories about y'all watching adult movies, or like
my mom would take me to horror movies when I was like 5 years old. Yeah.
That explains a lot about both of you.
I had seen Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th.
And I'm guessing little Maddie T had some nightmares.
I did, yes. Yeah.
Well, we had two big dates last month, and like Friday the 13th doesn't happen every year.
No.
Sometimes you get it twice a year or whatever. But last month you had Tax Day, which is big enough. Nobody's celebrating that.
That's really terrifying.
And then there was April 20th, which I remember, Maddie, you had a real special way of celebrating that on the show with some very special songs.
I celebrated all year long.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's a 365, sometimes 366 day a year celebration.
It's hard to fit it all into one day.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't feel bad about Friday the 13th today, so I actually left the house earlier this morning.
I was about to say, it looks like you're still in the house.
Looks like you're still there.
I still did
but you came back. Okay.
Still did my daily commute of like 5 feet from the bed to the desk, and it didn't scare me to do that.
I'm glad traffic wasn't too bad. It wasn't backed up.
Well, the cat didn't get in my way this morning.
That's good.
Occasionally she might. Brandon in Paris says, for good horror, just watch full game 2 of the 2018 College World Series championship round. Yeah, I know. I don't want to watch that whole game because it would be too frustrating because there were too many opportunities to drive in more runs, and then there's no reason to get into that. And that wasn't on Friday the 13th. I don't remember what day of the week it was. Was it June 21st or something like that? Oh, and it was a Wednesday, worst Wednesday of my life.
I remember exactly where I was watching. I was in my apartment in Midtown, having a Budweiser, texting my good friend Dylan, who lives in Bella Vista, saying, congratulations, you won. And then he texted back, not so fast.
Damn it, you jinxed it all.
I did. But I wasn't associated with the program or really like this job at the time, so I didn't think my jinx counted.
BE's more of a Saturday the 14th kind of a guy, so BE, just go to sleep, and when you wake up tomorrow, it's your day. Have fun with that. Halftime brought to you by Joe's Grilling Cantina in Fort Smith. Friday specials all day long. $10 chicken fajitas, $11 steak fajitas, and you get your sides of black or brown beans and rice with it. Just a $4 flavored margarita all day long, and got the Arkansas. Heck, they should have the Arkansas softball game at 4:30. Arkansas baseball at 6:30 on all of their TVs, which means that's a lot of time for half-price apps and taps at Joe's Grilling Cantina in Fort Smith. You can order online, joesfortsmith.com, or download the Waiter app. Always give them a visit across from Harps in Fort Smith. After the break, we're talking with Aaron Torres on Halftime.
When you believe in things you don't understand, and you stop the superstition anyway.
Hardworking simplicity and serious durability. That's the winning combination you get when you pair a rugged Workmaster utility tractor with a Dura-Disc heavy-duty disc mower, both from New Holland and Williams Tractor, now WT Equipment in Springdale. You'll maximize the tonnage of your hayfields by slicing a clean, close swath, up to 10 foot.
When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit, is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Jason Aldean says there's only two means of salvation around here that seem to work: whiskey or the Bible, shot glass or revival. He doesn't want to be stuck in these two ruts. He needs something in between to fulfill his dreams. Hebrews 7:25 says, Jesus is able to save completely those who draw near to God through him. Don't trust your spiritual strut or placing your butt in a church pew or bar stool, because all three will lie to you. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Our partners at BetOnline continue to be the #1 source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest sports developments, including updated odds on the NBA playoffs, fights, and even next season's futures. And don't forget that the MLB is back as well. Who are you picking to win the World Series? BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino and poker games. It's super easy to get started, so head to the website today or use your mobile device to join and use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Dent Source, the leader in auto hail repair for over 20 years. Our certified technicians service all vehicles and offer a lifetime warranty. Dent Source will keep you on the road with a courtesy vehicle and offer free pickup and delivery. Dent Source, now open in Fort Smith.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit, is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Jason Aldean says there's only two means of salvation around here that seem to work: whiskey or the Bible, shot glass or revival. He doesn't want to be stuck in these two ruts. He needs something in between to fulfill his dreams. Hebrews
ESPN 95.3. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Aaron Torres joining us here on Halftime. Fox Sports Radio, Aaron Torres Sports Podcast, and Aaron Torres Media. AT, happy Friday the 13th. Does Friday the 13th freak you out at all, or is this just something you don't even wake up in the morning worried about?
I wouldn't say, on the scale of things I'm worried about. We got global warming, we got food hunger. Friday the 13th isn't at the top of the list, but, if I see any black cats while we're talking, I may have to reconsider, or, I don't know, like if a snake falls on my head or something. But, no, I'm not too worried. I'm just happy to be with my boys on Friday. How you guys doing? Who we got this week? Vandy, right? We got Vandy this week, Phil?
That's right. Got Vanderbilt this weekend. 6 games
That's who
left
should
in the
be
regular
scared on this Friday the 13th. Oh, sorry. Continue.
I think they should be. That's right. Who's UConn got this? They got Xavier this weekend, man. Your UConn Huskies are making a push, but they lost on a Tuesday to Northeastern, and it's all. So this is a conversation we were having in the last segment. For teams in the SEC, it usually isn't all about RPI. Right now for UConn, man, it is about the RPI, because their RPI ranking is number 39, but they're second in the nation with 40 wins. So I just wonder sometimes how much the committee is going to be looking into that.
Yeah, Phil, I'll be honest, as a guy who I've actually, been following much more closely this year. Part of it is UConn. Part of it is I know the Tennessee story is very polarizing in the SEC. But, I'll be honest, I didn't realize how big of a factor RPI was. I was naive enough to think could UConn host a regional, which I thought I thought was in play. I know that last year UConn played in the Notre Dame regional, so I figured, hey, northern schools host regionals all the time, and I know Notre Dame's in the ACC and they have some pretty good programs. But I thought, hey, whatever. And then the last time I looked at a bracketology, we were a 3 seed in the Knoxville region. I said, don't send us to Knoxville. That's not fair. 40 wins, as you said. So, yeah, I guess it's a much bigger factor than I anticipated. So, Phil, if we do what we're supposed to do, I mean, what are we realistically looking at? Could we be a 2 seed? We hosting a regional is like completely out of the question, right?
It seems like it, but let's say you win your next 7 games, win the Big East tournament. I mean, I don't know. You got the stadium for it. A number of you got 40 wins. If they win another 7 games, man, I think it'd be tough to have a team that won 47 games going on the road. I mean, I'm not a committee member, but I don't know. It's just like you got to look past those metrics sometimes.
I agree.
And I brought this up in the context of college basketball conversation too, because so look at it this way, AT. Texas A&M's baseball team, their head coach, Jim Schlossnagle, admitted, now they've canceled a midweek game next week against Incarnate Word, and Schlossnagle admitted it's because of the RPI, because UIW's RPI is bad. So I looked at A&M's basketball schedule because everybody was up in arms when A&M was left out of the tournament. And they could have nobody's going to do that in college basketball, but look at some of the teams they played before getting into the SEC. Dallas Christian, Central Arkansas, these were net-ranking killing games. Could you imagine if a college basketball team canceled a non-conference game because they said, this team doesn't belong on the floor with us because they're going to kill our net ranking?
Well, and that was when you said that. I mean, I didn't even know that was something that could be done. Credit Schloss for having the honesty to say that. But that is shocking. I mean, that is shocking, right? It goes against literally the competitive spirit of sports, and it is funny, being a guy that is a real college basketball guy, not a fake college baseball guy like I claim to be. This is something that, it's something that I'm always very vocal about come March when it comes to basketball. Is I understand we have to have the net ranking as kind of some kind of metric to kind of place teams, but it's like when you're talking about these teams that are in basketball now, I'm talking about, 30-4, 32-3, and I don't know if we can put them in the NCAA tournament over, a 19-12 Big 12 team or a 19-13 SEC team. It's like, at some point, we have to give credit to teams for actually just stepping on the court, stepping on the field, and winning games. And so, I'm not saying it because it's my UConn, and I certainly am not, in a serious note, not qualified to actually, defend UConn or say why it's an outrage or whatever. But that is something, I know that I'm always talking about during basketball season is like, I get that you can't compare a Big 12 schedule to a MAC schedule or a whatever big South schedule, but at some point, stepping on the court, on the field, winning games has to matter. And so we'll see. Husky's got a lot of work to do, but I'd like to see him host a regional. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Well, AT, since you are a basketball guy, I do have to ask you a basketball question. As Ricky Council the fourth is going to commit here in about 23-ish minutes.
Oh yeah.
Is he going to be playing in the SEC at Bama, Arkansas State, or where do you think he's gonna go?
Ricky Council, this is.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was committing in 23 minutes. Darn it, man. I would have had a reaction video ready for YouTube because he's going to commit to Arkansas. I mean, am I 1,000% certain? I'm not. But, this has been the rumor for a while. I know he took a visit, 2 weeks ago at this point. And I think obviously the Jackson Robinson thing yesterday kind of, portended to something that could be in the works. And, and I don't blame this kid if he wants to be at Arkansas. And, this is an unfortunate, situation in terms of the business of college basketball, but if he wants to be at Arkansas and the staff was recruiting him saying we'll figure out a way to get you on this roster, then that appears to be what happens. And so to me, when he visits and you have really good reporters in Arkansas saying that it feels like he's going to be a hog. And then, I was obviously hearing the same through the grapevine. I'm sure you've heard the same through the grapevine. And then you have a player enter the portal. That's what it says to me. And so I wasn't aware that he was actually committing this early in the day. But if he does, it's another nice piece for the Hogs. It obviously probably speaks to the fact that I know that a month ago I was talking about the possibility of Jalen Williams returning. I think that's probably not going to happen at this point, but yeah, I would be shocked at this point if Ricky Council was anything other than a Razorback.
AT, another thing that's been a big topic of interest this week has been the NCAA and what they've decided, saying that division, you don't have to decide a champion through division, a championship game anymore. You can do whatever you want, scholarships and fully funded stuff. We talked about it on the baseball side of possible 11.7 going away. It just feels like this is just the beginning of the end of the NCAA. And do you think that we have radical changes to where the idea of just letting college football be run by the CFP, does that happen in this calendar year?
I don't think in this calendar year. No, I mean, we're definitely at a crossroads. I don't think there's any doubt about that, Drew. And, I don't know what this looks like 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I mean, the idea, the how different things look even from 5 years ago. I'm not talking 30 years ago before we were born or when we were kids or whatever. I'm talking about 5 years ago, how fundamentally different everything is. I don't know what it's going to look like 5 years from now. Now, to me, the NCAA coming out and saying that they want to, investigate some of these NIL deals. Now, what they can actually do, I don't know. That to me, with the fact that they appear to be actively looking for a next leader of the NCAA, president of the NCAA, to replace Mark Emmert, says to me that they plan on being in existence in a year from now or in the next 6 months as we go towards 2023. What I do think it does speak to, though, is I think the NCAA realizes, there are certain things we can monitor, there's certain things we can't monitor, and there's certain things that, we shouldn't monitor. Like, if Alabama wants to have 37 assistant coaches and 45 analysts, let Alabama have, there's only one team that's going to win a national championship. And is it a little bit unfair for some of the other schools? Yeah, but is that something that we really need to throw our arms up about? I don't know. Obviously, the scholarship stuff, getting to 85, however you do it, whether it's 25 in a class, 35 in a class, whatever, I don't have a problem with that either. So what I think it says, Drew, is I think the NCAA plans on being here for a while. But I think some of the stuff that they've maybe regulated, or some would say over-regulated in previous years, I think they're realizing, we got bigger fish to fry. If we want to stick around, what is the old saying, letting, the serious criminals off while pursuing parking tickets. I mean, I feel like that's kind of what the NCAA is saying. We're not going to pursue parking tickets anymore. We're going to try to enforce the rules that actually matter, NIL, transfer portal, tampering. Now, whether they will be able to or not is another question, but that to me speaks to what kind of some of the news that's come out over the last 10 days or so says.
I kind of wonder if one direction that this may end up going in, at least as far as the in this case, the labor is concerned, the student athletes are concerned. In professional sports, they negotiate out, in bargaining sessions, tampering, the windows of free agency, salary caps, that kind of stuff. And if there is going to be any I feel like restrictions on money that players can make on NIL or freedom of movement from one university to the other, it might have to be collectively bargained. And this was a fight that came out 7 or 8 years ago when those Northwestern players tried to unionize. Yep. It didn't work out for them. But I feel like the players, the student athletes, the labor has to have some sort of representation in this fight. And it's not the NCAA and it's not the universities. I don't know where it comes from.
Phil, I mean, this just speaks to what I just said a minute ago. I mean, like you said, this was a topic of conversation for about 2 weeks, probably 4 or 5 summers ago, and then it just kind of just disappeared. It just never really got any real traction. And so I'm with you. And, I talked to a buddy of mine, Dan Lust, who's a lawyer, and, I talked to him on my podcast, so it's not like a conversation that other people can't listen to, but listen, I'm not smart enough to have all the answers here, Phil, but I don't think it's inconceivable that, 15 years from now, 10 years from now, football players or maybe all athletes are just employees of the school. I mean, is that where we're going? I don't like I said, I'm not smart enough to have these conversations and to know what the steps are and what's realistic and what's not. But that does feel like, as you said, Phil, the only way to truly regulate NIL, to truly regulate the transfer portal, to truly regulate tampering, is that, they have to be essentially contractual employees. And so, again, I don't know that we're there yet. I don't know that we'll ever get there. but I don't think that anybody could have envisioned 5 years ago where we are today. And so I don't mean to keep going back to the same throwaway line of the sport or the sports that we cover and that we love are rapidly evolving in front of our eyes. But, I've talked to much smarter people than me about this, people that work at the highest levels of media, ADs, assistant ADs, stuff like that are essentially saying the same thing. And so, I think to Drew's original question, I think it just speaks to we need leadership from somewhere. I do think it's somewhat of a positive that it appears as though Greg Sankey appears to be working with the other commissioners, although the last time he did it, it ended up him stabbing Bob Bowlesby in the back and taking Oklahoma and Texas. But I take it as a sign that Greg Sankey seems to be working with other people to try and build some sort of foundation so it isn't this wild, wild west that we're currently living in. But I don't think it's easy to say in 5 years college football will look like this, in 10 years college sports will look like that. I just think that's the world that we live in right now. I really do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of just I have a feeling that there is a plan, that the people in charge, have an idea of direction that they want to go. It's just trying to figure what exactly that plan is. AT
lawyers, man,
yeah.
They have a plan, but when the lawyers get involved, it's a totally different deal, Drew. So I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no worries. I just wanted to get your thoughts on the ACC's scheduling 3-5-5 scheme that they're going to use going forward. Do you like it, and do you think it should be adapted by other leagues in college football?
Well, I think it'll be interesting, as we get to a time with the SEC having 16 teams. I think we all kind of know we're not staying at two divisions, an East and a West. And so, does the ACC set up a blueprint for where we could be going? I think what is also interesting is, the idea of, eliminating divisions in terms of conference championships. So, you just think about this year, Michigan has the best season in school history. It's not school history, but, probably the last 20 years. They beat Ohio State. We have this incredible moment in Ann Arbor where people rush the field. It's snowing. People are crying, whatever. I don't think it's inconceivable that a year from now, 5 years from now, whatever, they have to turn around and play Ohio State a week later for the Big Ten championship game if we eliminate divisions. So I think it's going to be really interesting. I think it's really going to be interesting, Drew. How do all of these conferences handle regular season scheduling? How do they determine a conference champion? Now, if we get to a 12-team playoff or an expanded playoff, that's not going to be as big of a deal. But imagine being a Michigan fan having the best season in school history and having to go and beat Ohio State again. Imagine some team in the ACC beating Clemson in the regular season and then having to beat them again a few weeks later. Heck, there's been scenarios in the SEC that are like that where, an Auburn maybe, there's been a few years, as a matter of fact, where Auburn beat Alabama to win the SEC West, where they could conceivably have to play them again a week later. So, this is just a conversation that's obviously taking on a very obvious tone, is that things are changing, some for the better, some for the worse, some at a conference level, some at a national level. But it's been a wild few weeks in terms of what the future of all this could look like. And obviously, as you said, Drew, the ACC seems to be the one that's most aggressively pursuing this stuff. But I think it's going to be fascinating for the three of us to watch, as far as our conversations are concerned, what it means for the SEC. And do we have 14 pods? Do we have 3-2 regular opponents, whatever? It's going to be an interesting summer. It feels like every summer there can't be more stuff to talk about, and then stuff always pops up, and that's certainly happening right now in college football and college sports in general.
AT, we'll leave it there. Appreciate you, man. Have a good weekend, and we'll look forward to talking about the UConn Huskies beating Xavier 3 in a row next Friday.
I'm going to tear up the RPI when I come on next time. I'm going to do some homework.
That's
All right, guys.
That's
See you.
right.
Thank you.
Appreciate it,
Aaron. Thank you very much. 877-377-6963 to get on halftime. Drew, Maddie, his comments about the speed of change from the NCAA. We know that there's a ton of change that's on the way. We don't know what it's all going to look like. We're at the point now where you say, well, this is changing, that is changing, everything is changing. What is it going to look like? And the answers are, I don't know.
And that's why I asked him about this calendar year, because it's coming so fast. Just in the last 10 days, things have changed dramatically. So what could happen in 10 months?
Stay with us. We'll wrap the first hour up next.
For a dependable, fuel-efficient tractor from a company committed to the future, choose a Branson tractor. Each of our tractors is backed by a 6-year limited warranty with models available ranging in horsepower from 22 to 58. You are sure to find the tractor that is right for you. Make sure you call or stop in today at the new location for Bush Tractor at 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Again, that is 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Or you can check them out online at bushtractor.com.
We are doing it again at Frank Rowe Furniture. Not only do we have the best seats in the house, we carry made in the USA furniture. For the entire month of May, 40% off at paying cash checker card on all furniture, bedroom, and mattresses, and 35% off our in-store no credit check financing. We also carry a full line of appliances, including the made in the USA Speed Queens. For example, conservator washers and dryers by Whirlpool, regular $649, now $499. Frank Rowe Furniture, best seats in the house.
If you farm, you have enough to worry about without worrying about how much more you're going to owe once your current variable or balloon interest rate increases. Interest rates are on the rise. This is the time to check out Farm Credit's long-term fixed rate options. Farm Credit offers the longest terms in the ag industry. Long-term fixed rates mean there's no surprises and your payments remain the same for the life of your loan. That's peace of mind in this changing interest rate climate. Find a Farm Credit office near you at myaglender.com. Set your operation up for success and rest easy. Equal housing lender.
When you want beer, you go to a bar. When you want top-shelf spirits, wines, handcrafted cocktails, and cigars, in an atmosphere benefiting a destination, you go to 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Try our new menu items including fish and chips, classic club sandwiches, Caesar and Cobb salads, or stick to your favorites, dine in or carry out. Enjoy our state-of-the-art air filtration system. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith. Doors open at 4 Tuesday through Saturday.
Hell yes! Hey folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources, where we've just had the perfect storm. Yeah, we got hail, but just enough to create a tsunami of savings for our customers. That's right, little bitty damage and great big old savings on a great selection of Rath road-ready vehicles. But you want to hurry in for the best selection, because this inventory is turning like a tornado. If you have damage on your car, bring it in. We'll trade for it just like it is, even if it looks like a Titleist. If you're keeping your car, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with free AC check, half-off brakes, and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. Better yet, trade it in and say hell yes to this perfect storm of savings. Don't wait till they're all fixed. Don't wait till they're all gone. Start driving better today during the hell yes sale at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Why do people do business with First Western? Because First Western builds relationships with all of their customers. They partner for the long haul to help you with your financial goals over all seasons of life. First Western is prompt, responsive, and they deliver with quick answers and on-time loan closings. When is the last time your banker called you? If you are looking for a high level of service and a financial partner who will listen and respond, try First Western. For more information, visit them online at firstwestern.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. On 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
And we need your questions for Hey Phil, brought to you by the Stadium Shop on Razorback next to Baum. Got grilling tools for you tailgaters right now. Tongs, spatula, grill hooks, grill scraper, brush, grill fork. All these things come with a baseball bat handle. It's all you could want. Clothing to fan cave for the Razorback fan at the Stadium Shop on Razorback. Local family alumni owned and operated. Call Robert and Matt at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486. 479-STADIUM. Or visit them at the Stadium Shop on Razorback. Tell them the folks from ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com sent you. You can also shop online, shop with an E, on Razorback.com. I still haven't met any girl named Susudio. Have you?
I met a lady named Sue, but not
Yes.
Susudio.
Yes. I dated a girl named Sue. She was not named Susudio. Nobody ever even tried to call
It
her
wasn't
that
a boy
once.
named Sue?
No, it wasn't a boy named Sue either.
Did you date her after that song had come out?
That song came out in 1983. I was 6 in 1983.
I didn't know if it was kindergarten romance or something.
That was the year
Phil.
I
don't
was
know.
born.
So why didn't you get the name started? You could have called her Susudio.
No. Did I date her after that song came out?
I didn't know when that song came out. I'm sorry.
It's also after Hotel California came out, and I meant to tell you guys this. I've ruined some songs for a player for the Razorback baseball team.
Why would you do that?
Just because. Robert Moore told me that this is at Auburn, and he's in the dugout during Auburn's batting practice, and we hear Hotel California come up on the PA system. He says, "This is the song I would want if I was a pitcher for my walkout from the bullpen." I was like, "That's interesting. This is a song about alcoholism." And Robert looks at me. He's like, he did not know that. He was unaware that the song was A, about alcoholism, or B, written by a band and performed by a band called the Eagles. This guy said to him, think about who wrote the song and who performed the song. This was not the only song the Eagles wrote about alcohol or cocaine or anything like that. And I ruined that song for him. Just absolutely ruined the song for him.
You just ruined it for me, too. I had no idea it was about alcoholism.
But, Phil, you told me about the song Hungry Like the Wolf, and now I love that song even more. So
later on.
It had the opposite effect on me.
After I was done interviewing Dave Van Horn, I saw Robert come back into the dugout, and what song was on the PA system at that point? Well, it was Born in the USA, which at that point I'm like, Robert,
I know that
I'm
one.
ready to ruin another song
I know
for you.
that one.
Did you know this song is an anti-patriotic anthem? It's like, listen to the words here. First hit I took was when I hit the ground, born down in a dead man's town. Listen to the lyrics. This is as anti-patriotic as it gets. And I said, you just give me another week. I've got 2 more songs to ruin for you. I'm not sure what they are. If anybody does, 877-377-6963, and we'll have Hey Phil as well next.
In today's world, slow internet equals a bad day. If you're in a rural area, you've experienced this way too often. Online meetings, schoolwork, enjoying family movie night, it's downright impossible. The solution? Fast fiber internet from Wave Rural Connect. Service is available near Uniontown, Van Buren, Pecola, Cass, Ozone, Altus, and many other areas. Check to see if it's available for you at waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Always online at randallford.com. Ethan, gas prices are high right now, and people used to think that SUVs were gas guzzlers, but what you guys have here, the selection, you're going to be pretty amazed at the miles per gallon.
People come to see us, they'll be surprised as far as what we have as selection goes. Midsize SUVs sitting in that mid to high 20s range. Hybrid cars, even if you're looking for something like that, we do have that out here.
What are some of those Ford vehicles and SUVs that people need to be looking at when they stop by Randall Ford?
I would say one of the most important ones is the Escape. That new body style really made the interior and exterior a lot different than what it has been before. And the gas mileage, again, you're sitting at that mid to high 20s range.
10 or so years ago, it was nowhere near reaching 20. Now it's like you said, almost 30 miles a gallon.
Right, you were looking at like 17 to 21. Now, I mean, they even offer a hybrid option for the Escape, and you can order that. And you're looking more towards the mid 30s on that one.
Come by and see Ethan today, Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Always online, randallford.com.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, a sunny start will give way to a few clouds. A few isolated showers or storms are high in the upper 80s to lower 90s. 50-50 chance of seeing some showers and storms, especially across the north tonight. Overnight lows will drop down in the low to mid 60s. And Saturday, a few isolated showers or storms, highs in the 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson. Make sure to listen to The Morning Rush every weekday morning from 6 to 9 on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
ESPN 95.3. Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station. And this one belongs to the Razorbacks, streaming live from hitthatline.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
And welcome into your second hour of halftime. The golden hour on a Friday. Woo! We've got, let's see, we're a minute into it. The break takes at 56. We're like 53 minutes away from the start of the weekend. And that's where, like, you saw me on Monday and Tuesday, guys. I was worn out from that Auburn series.
You were beat.
I
couldn't blame you.
You were a shell of yourself.
I'm going to feel like that later on Monday once this series is done. I think it's going to be a really entertaining series with Arkansas and Vanderbilt. Get in your Ask Phil or Hey Phil, whatever we're going to call it. I don't know. But it is brought to you by the Stadium Shop. Anything you want to know about anything going on in the world, whether it's Arkansas athletics, baseball, basketball, football, softball, whatever, or if you want to know why Ty sounded like he had taken 8 Valiums before that last commercial, 877-377-6963.
Also, fun fact, so you did talk about Hotel California and how it's about alcoholism.
I think it's more about overall addiction,
yes,
but yes.
And I didn't know that. I just thought it was a nice, playful song about a hotel you can never leave. So I looked up the lyrics, and I've always wondered what warm smell of colitas is a reference to. Colitas is a Spanish slang term for marijuana bud.
I didn't even know that either.
Oh, the devil's lettuce?
The devil's lettuce. Or as we now know, it's called colitas.
You should have brought it up last April, April the 20th last month. It would have been
I'll put it in my calendar for next year to remind everybody that if you need another slang word for weed, colitas. That works.
Well, then I learned something there, too, because I never looked that part up. Charlie has given us a call. I want to make sure I get to Charlie and not make him hold like I made him hold a little bit yesterday, because then he hung up as soon as we were going to him, which felt like maybe I insulted him by making him hold that long. But so we'll bring him on now 2 minutes after the top of the hour, like he's a regularly scheduled guest, which he sort of is. Charlie, it's your turn. How are you? What's new?
What's up, guys? I actually know, Phil, the only reason I hung up yesterday, and I don't want you guys to take this the wrong way, especially you, Matty, you and Drew. Don't get your minds out of the gutter. But No, I have an infection going on, and I've been on some really strong antibiotics and steroids. And as I was driving home yesterday, and I called you guys, and just out of nowhere, I got super sick, and I had to pull over and shoot my guts out. So if anybody wants to hear that on live air, congratulations.
You don't sound like yourself. Charlie,
yeah, you do
not
sound a little off, Charlie. I
can
hope
tell.
you feel better.
I'm not myself, but I will probably not be for a few days. But anyway, it just is what it is. It's life. Sometimes you got to deal with it.
You got to play through the pain.
Man, I'm one tough hombre, I'll tell you that. But this right here, it's not about the pain, really. It's more so the side effects of the medication that I'm taking that's making my life a living, you know what. So anyway, it's just part of it, dealing with it. You guys were talking about Drew taking his shirt off or something yesterday. That's right about when I hung up.
Is that why? That's really why you had to throw up?
No, I didn't want him to feel bad about, when I hung up, and it was when you were talking about Drew standing out in front of whatever, holding somebody's line for the tickets tonight. Drew, did anybody try to call you up on that?
No, I didn't get any tickets.
Not one offer.
Not one offer would somebody
Not
pay
one
me a
offer?
few $100.
Oh man,
I know.
See, I was gonna do it, but then I don't know what happened. I just got sick out of nowhere.
It's okay.
No, but seriously, guys. I hope Memphis plays well tonight. Drew, I know this isn't an NBA show, and Phil, I know this isn't an NBA show, but I do have an NBA question.
Okay.
NBA playoffs time. We got a big NBA guy ready. The host, one of the most. Reverend Andrew Paul Barrett, hosts one of the most popular NBA podcasts in Arkansas. So he's the guy to go to.
Think it's the only one.
I know, Drew.
Just let me go with that then.
Okay.
Drew, I want to ask you, man, and I think we're going to be on the same wavelength here with this. And I think basketball, for some guys, I think it's a lot of mental. And I want to go back to 2011 when LeBron, I'm a LeBron fan, I've said it. He had that mental, I think, in my opinion, something that had to happen to him to turn his career around. And he's won 4 championships since. He had a mental meltdown in that Mavs series. I mean, it's well documented. He has said it. Everyone has said it. Over much of his career. But I wanted to talk about James Harden a little bit. And a lot of people are pointing at the rule changes as to why he's starting to struggle. But I've been arguing for the last few years for him. When it comes down to big games in the playoffs, and I don't know what it is with him, man, he doesn't get the calls in the playoffs that he does in the regular season. We all know he gets to the line a lot, and that probably helps him keep in a rhythm. But, there is something mental there with him in big games, and I don't know what it is, and it's always been there. And I've been saying it for years, and I don't know if you agree with me on that, but it's like even when he was leading the league in scoring in Houston, when it was time, when they needed him in the postseason, especially in elimination games, he didn't usually deliver. And he hasn't delivered in his career in big-time moments, but there's something going on. We all know how talented the dude is. I mean, it's insane how, it's there. I think it's mental, and I don't know if you agree with me, but what happened with LeBron in 2011, I think he went the other way. I think he took that and he learned from it from a mental standpoint. And, he's won for championships. And for some reason, I don't know, James Harden has got what a mental lump that is. It's going, I don't know what it is. And a lot of it's just, when you listen to him in an interview, he doesn't take accountability. And LeBron literally sat up there after that series and said, I got to be better. And I don't know what it is, Drew, and I don't know if you agree. You guys want to chime in, but something ain't right with him mentally. From the standpoint of in big-time moments, he doesn't come through. Yeah, and he's got guys like Jimmy Butler who do. So, anyway, I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, I appreciate the call, Charlie. And, obviously I do love the NBA. And when it comes to James Harden right now in his career, I think he's reached the point where he's got to care more. And I don't want to, call out somebody's will to win, but you watch the series that Philly and Miami played, and you watched his game last night, and he takes 2 shots in the entire second half. And this isn't the first time we've had stars or, key players do this. I mean, you go back staying with Philly, Ben Simmons did the same thing in the playoffs last year. He's known to kind of disappear when the moment gets big. And James kind of reminds me of Chris Paul. And the way I say that is not because of the way that they play or really how they look. It's because Chris Paul is one of those players that regular season-wise is always phenomenal. Can rack in the awards, get the scoring. But when it comes to crunch time and it comes to must-win ball games, Chris Paul is, up until his time in Phoenix, has always seemed to disappear. I mean, there's plenty of years where they had more talented teams when he was with the Clippers, and those teams fell apart. He just disappeared. And I think that unless James Harden is able to get mentally ready, better physically in shape, now he's not as big as he was at the beginning of the season when he was in Houston, but still I think most people would agree that he is a little bit overweight. With Harden, he's just got to decide if this is really what he wants to do at this point in his life. It feels like there's too many distractions around him, and being the superstar that he's supposed to be, you take 2 shots in the second half, that's ridiculous. I mean, no team's going to win like that.
I've never understood not giving effort in a playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you like an NBA regular season, look, if you're going at 75, 80% sometimes, it's probably fine. But in the playoffs, I can't understand. I know Doc Rivers was trying to get them to give better effort and everything, but I mean, there's got to be a huge disconnect between Rivers and the rest of that team. If he's got to plead professional athletes who are millionaires to give effort in a postseason series,
and that's why
mind-blowing.
And that's why I don't like the fact that some people are kind of using Doc Rivers as an scapegoat, saying it's his fault. He needs to, be gone, and they need to get somebody else in there. Philly wants to have a chance at a title in Joel Embiid's window here, because while Doc does do some things questionable and has done some questionable things over the years, he's not out there playing. He can't make James Harden take more shots. Now, James says that they wouldn't, dial anything up for him, but you're a playmaker, man. You're supposed to be a baller. You've got the ball in your hands. Take over. Make him draw up plays for you. If you want to score and you want to have that mentality of, I'm putting this team on my back, you want to have that Mamba mentality like Kobe Bryant. It didn't matter what Phil Jackson drew up. It didn't matter what any coach that Coach Kobe Bryant drew up. If it was crunch time and somebody had to take a shot, it was going to be Kobe, and he was going to make sure it was. You have to have that killer instinct to be able to take over, instead of pouting during the second half and going, well, they're not drawing stuff up for me. It's basketball is a sport that you can be a ball hog. You can take over, and you got to do it. And he just simply didn't. It seems like he got in his feelings, a little upset about the whole situation, and decided that he was going to just kind of console himself within during an elimination game, which is insane.
Game 6 of the East semifinals with the Celtics and Bucks is tonight at 6:30. Game 6 of the West semifinals with the Grizz and the Warriors is at 8 o'clock. And you can get the best odds for those playoff games, all the other NHL playoff games, Major League Baseball, anything going on in the world of sports, or even blackjack and casino games at BUSR.com. And if you use BUSR.com/morningrush, you'll get a 100% deposit bonus when you start your account. Put in $100, get $100, and the math just works that way. You got to go to BUSR.com/morningrush to get the exclusive ESPN Arkansas listener 100% deposit bonus. Bet with confidence. Bet with BUSR. And call or text halftime at 877-377-6963. We'll have much more next.
You're out living it up today. I've got dues to pay. And the grave digger puts on the forceps. The stonemason does all the work. The barber can give you a haircut. The carpenter can take you out to lunch. Now, but I just want to play on my panpipes. I just want to drink me some wine. As soon as you're born, you start dying. So you might as well have a good time. Oh no, sheep go to heaven, goats go to hell. Sheep go to heaven, goats go to hell.
Breaking news from our area. The recent hailstorm has left thousands with roof damage. The certified roofing experts at Elite Roofing are on standby. Call now, 479-47.
When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch.
Big old slab. C'est bon, Sacalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Jason Aldean says there's only two means of salvation around here that seem to work: whiskey or the Bible, shot glass or revival. He doesn't want to be stuck in these two ruts. He needs something in between to fulfill his dreams. Hebrews 7:25 says, Jesus is able to save completely those who draw near to God through him. Don't trust your spiritual strut or placing your butt in a church pew or bar stool, because all three will lie to you. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Our partners at BetOnline continue to be the #1 source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest sports developments, including updated odds on the NBA playoffs, fights, and even next season's futures. And don't forget that the MLB is back as well. Who are you picking to win the World Series? BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino and poker games. It's super easy to get started, so head to the website today or use your mobile device to join and use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Dent Source, the leader in auto hail repair for over 20 years. Our certified technicians service all vehicles and offer a lifetime warranty. Dent Source will keep you on the road with a courtesy vehicle and offer free pickup and delivery. Dent Source, now open in Fort Smith.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch.
Big old slab. C'est bon, Sacalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Jason Aldean says there's only two means of salvation around here that seem to work: whiskey or the Bible, shot glass or revival. He doesn't want to be stuck in these two ruts. He needs something in between to fulfill his dreams. Hebrews 7:25 says, Jesus is able to save completely those who draw near to God through him. Don't trust your spiritual strut or placing your butt in a church pew or bar stool, because...
Save it, but it's burning a hole right through my pocket and into my skin. Come Monday morning, I'll be broke again. It's finally Friday, I'm free again. I got my motor running for a wild weekend. It's finally Friday, I'm out of control. Forget the working blues and let the good times roll.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
looks like Ricky Council has chosen Arkansas.
Ooh, AT was right.
He was right about that, and you were right that he was making his decision during the show, and there it is.
I can read a tweet. Yes.
Yep. Ricky Council is going to be an Arkansas Razorback, 6'6", 205-pounder.
Back to 14, Phil. What do we do?
Chooses Arkansas over Alabama, Georgia Tech, Mississippi State, Kansas, and Iowa State. According to the story on Hog Sports from Curtis Wilkerson, he'll have 3 years of eligibility. 14 so now we got 14 players for 13 scholarships.
Yeah, we're back to 14.
Is that counting, Jalen?
That is, I think it is actually counting Jalen's. Okay, then we might be good. I don't know. I'd have to go look at the.
He's not coming back, is he?
No, he's not.
Doubtful. When is the combine? It's later this month, right?
Yeah, next week.
He's got to
I
pull,
believe.
and you got to pull your name out of the draft
by June 1st.
June 1st. So you got a couple weeks left here, but the signs are all pointing to Jalen Williams staying in the draft because you wouldn't be putting your own program in the position where you got to tell somebody, either an incoming freshman or a transfer that's already signed with you, that this is not where you're going to play. It's not how things are done. I would hope.
No.
So the signs all point certainly to Jalen Williams not being an Arkansas Razorback next year. And Jackson Robinson's exit, coming the day before Ricky Council makes his announcement. Like these things obviously are one transaction helping lead to another transaction, and there's no surprise that Jackson Robinson's in the transfer portal. I felt like he had a moment to show something last year, end of December, and then into the beginning of the conference schedule.
Because he started 4 games around that time.
Yeah, and it was around the time where the talk was there's not enough three-point shooting on this team, and he might have had the so-called the prettiest stroke. But I'm not sure if he was much other than just a three-point shooter. It didn't look like he was much of a defender, much of a rebounder.
How much of a three-point shooter was he if you average only 3.2 points a game? It's not like when he was getting minutes out on the floor, he was just lights out, knocking them down left and right. If he would have been able to, be that three-point presence, well, Musselman would have given him more minutes, would have had him in ball games more, and he would have started more than 4 games probably, especially in that late December, early January skid where we were all trying to figure out how these pieces are going to fit together. Luckily, Eric Musselman's really good at puzzles and put them all together at the right time, and had the amazing end of January, great February, hell of a March. Was able to recapture this great season that we thought the Hogs were going to have back in October. So you don't really know what you had in him, because realistically we didn't see enough. And it just kind of makes sense for, especially at this point, past that May 1st deadline, if somebody was going to transfer, it was going to be the guy that's already transferred, because he wouldn't be eligible to play next year anyway. So if you're going to kind of tell one guy to pack your stuff up and leave, it'd be the guy that would already have to sit out anyways, instead of you telling somebody that after May 1st missing that deadline, and then they're kind of SOL.
Yeah, I just don't know how you have that conversation. We got a text in from someone that thinks that Williams will come back, and then Kamani Johnson will either transfer or become a walk-on. That's funny. That's funny. No one's going to become a walk-on after getting a scholarship. He'd either leave the program or he's going to stay, and Jay Williams is not coming back.
Well, you say that, and there was a guy at my alma mater, Tyler Harris, who transferred out of Memphis, went to Iowa State, transferred back, and was a walk-on last year, and led the team in three-point shooting. So, it is possible, but it's not very common. It's pretty unheard of.
I don't see that.
Yeah,
I don't see that happening. I do. All the signs now are pointing to Williams, staying in the draft. Every last sign, as far as that is concerned, as far as the building of the roster.
Who's been saying that since March?
You've been saying it since he went in there.
Steadfast that Jalen Williams' draft stock wasn't going to get any higher if he came back next year. Golly, who has beat that drum for 2-3 months now?
Well,
goodness gracious, that guy's smart.
Just wait until June 1st before you start beating your chest about this.
He told everyone he wasn't coming back. He told everyone that draft stock is all about your age and your ceiling, and coming back next year would lower the ceiling. Man, whoever that guy was, he's really smart.
You're taking a victory lap 2 weeks before the finish line is even approaching.
This is
Don't break your arm there while you're patting yourself on the back.
I mean, this is I'm rounding third, and I'm waving to the crowd.
Yeah, don't trip on third base. Don't trip.
I'm waving. I'm Kirk Gibson fist pumping. I mean, I'm hot dogging it out there right now.
Well, the texter Bill in Fayetteville makes another good point about the idea of NIL. And that's like it's not an equaling factor necessarily, but it is the factor that you didn't have a year ago when some guys were making this same decision. I mean, if you make more money for 1 year as a college junior who is going to be one of the more recognizable faces in the sport. Really, Jalen Williams is going to be one of the more recognizable faces in college basketball if he comes back next year. Not just in the SEC, but across the nation. Because of his smile, because of how well he's played in 2 NCAA tournaments in a row. Like, people know who he is if you even pay a little bit of attention to the college basketball tournament in March. You know who Jalen Williams is. He will make money if he does return. Does that mean he doesn't need the scholarship? Like, that's the aspect of this that sometimes I wonder about. Like, you make more money on NIL potentially than you do from the scholarship. And I understand, like, the scholarship is still worth tens of thousands of dollars. It's not just a drop in the bucket here.
No. And I mean, it's not like players don't actually get a little money extra for that, for living expenses and stuff. I mean, I know with most scholarships out there, it doesn't just cover tuition, books, fees and all that other stuff. You also get, I think, depending on the school, I think it varies, but I think you get about $1,000 a month for living expenses, for rent and other things.
Yeah, there's a stipend of labor.
Yeah, you get a little stipend. And I'm not going to name a guy's name, but there's a guy I went to school with that I was decent friends with who played football on the team, and I met him out at a bar, and I said, "Hey man, why don't I buy you a drink?" He said, "No, I got you." I was like, "Dude, I'm working. You ain't got no money." He's like, "I got to spend this. I got to spend these stipends somehow." So sometimes it. There is a little extra money to go around.
I feel like some of us also like put our own altruistic feelings into a student athlete's head. It'd be like, well, he wants to be part of a national championship team, so he'll just forego the scholarship and he'll just go with NIL money and be like, well, then he's giving up $60,000 of some sort. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, if he's making it, let's put the numbers out there. I mean, how much does just basic tuition to Arkansas cost now? 12, 14, something around there, I'm guessing. That's about the average of a state school in the U.S. So let's say he gives that up. Say he makes, $50,000 in an NIL deal. Well, now with all the books and fees and just base tuition, meal plans, housing, living, everything else, well, when you add it all up, $50K looks a little bit more like 22.
Some of these kids do get a somewhat altruistic about it. What was the name of it's Antoine Davis, Mike Davis's son, University, was it Detroit, I think?
Sounds right.
I think it's Detroit. And Detroit Mercy, throw in the second word there. And remember, he went into the transfer portal. He's one of the all-time leading scorers in college basketball history. He went into the portal and then recommitted to Detroit, and he said he's going to share his NIL earnings with his teammates. That's some altruistic stuff. I don't think that's probably like a 5%er right there, because in most cases it's what can you do for me?
Exactly.
And then I will do things for the team on the floor, on the field, that kind of thing.
I'll pick up the bill at Pizza Hut one night, but outside of that, you guys are on your own when it comes to NIL.
The big winner at the casino. Yep. Yeah. Biggest winner I ever had was a $1,000 hand at a casino in somewhere in the Sierra Madre in the Sierra Nevada in California. It was a $1,000 video poker hand, believe it or not, and it was a 5-coin royal flush. So I won $1,100 on just video poker. And where did I take the guys? This was after a minor league baseball game. I made $15,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
So where did I take the guys after I basically made like a 15th of my salary sitting there drinking a smoothie? Denny's.
That's the way you got to do it.
Yeah.
That sounds like it was a grand slam.
Living large and in charge.
Lenny's, Denny's, right, whatever. All right, stay tuned. Halftime is right back.
Whoa, you got to lose control.
Racing fans, it's time for the second leg of the horse racing's Triple Crown. Where are you going to bet? BUSR, of course. Place your wager on the Preakness Stakes today and lock in fantastic odds. Besides horses, you can bet on sports and play over 300 casino games at BUSR. Sign up today and get up to $1,000 on your first deposit by going to BUSR.com/morning rush. That's BUSR.com/morning rush. Bet with confidence. Bet with BUSR.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw. Nobody will give you more for your trade. Troy, that's whether you're selling the vehicle outright or trading it in for one of the great vehicles right here on the lot at Harry Robinson.
Yes, I mean, you are 100% correct. Listen, this is not a sales ad. We want to buy what you have. We want to buy your vehicle. We're the home of more for your trade. We want to give you more money for your vehicle. So even if you're not buying from us, if you're buying out of state or out of town, still come down here and see us. Give us 5 to 10 minutes. Let us do a quick appraisal. I promise you'll be surprised. We want to give you more for the vehicle you're trading in.
What are you looking for? I know we're getting ready for summer. Any particular makes or models you're looking for right now?
I am looking for everything. So anything 2014 or newer with less than 120,000 miles, I'm going to give you top dollar for it. So come down here and see us. Like I said, 5 to 10 minutes. Let us do a quick appraisal. I promise you'll be surprised.
Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford is 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw, and always online at harryrobinson.com.
When you want beer, you go to a bar. When you want top shelf spirits, wines, handcrafted cocktails, and cigars, in an atmosphere benefiting a destination, you go to 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Try our new menu items including fish and chips, classic club sandwiches, Caesar and Cobb salads, or stick to your favorites, dine in or carry out. Enjoy our state-of-the-art air filtration system. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith. Doors open at 4 Tuesday through Saturday.
Every moment counts. As soon as you test positive for COVID-19, talk to your doctor to see what treatment might be right for you. We now have a variety of options, from monoclonal antibodies to lessen symptom severity and prevent hospitalization, to oral antivirals to treat mild to moderate cases. But the treatments work best the sooner you begin. For more information, go to healthy.arkansas.gov. This message brought to you by the Arkansas Department of Health.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience, specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One has a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
All right, Drew did some serious research last night and this morning. There you go, power walking Drew.
I was just telling Maddie,
I'm watching on YouTube or Facebook.
I'm going to add this to my workout jams playlist.
This is great power walking
music.
music.
I'm setting a new personal best in this song.
Well,
his
you
arms
better.
His arms are swinging to the beat.
You better. You're about to ingest like 50,000 calories of barbecue this week.
Oh, I know. Oh, it's going to be amazing. I cannot wait.
Oh, the good thing about Memphis is they put vinegar in their barbecue sauce.
He's just giving, he's shooting daggers at Matty right now. I don't know exactly what it is you hate about that. I wanted to mention something to watch out for this weekend in the baseball series. This is unique for the SEC, which is more of a home run hitters league. Vanderbilt's the top base stealing team in the SEC, 70 for 79 all year stealing bases, and they've got one of the best base stealers in the country in center fielder Enrique Bradfield, who last year was the SEC Freshman of the Year and gets on base at a .402 clip. He has not been caught stealing yet. He's 34 for 34 stealing bases. And he's sort of like, this is a team that's got a couple of the best hitters in the SEC as far as batting average and on-base percentage are concerned in right-handed hitting Dominic Keegan and left-handed hitting Spencer Jones. But I feel like Bradfield is the guy that really drives the train for them. You get him on base, and you got to focus a lot of attention on the base runner. And Arkansas has been good against the stolen base, but you haven't faced anybody that's been this good. Bradfield, though, did get caught stealing by Casey Opitz last year in the one game that Arkansas and Vanderbilt played, so that'll be in the back of our mind a little bit. And the other thing is they got left-handed pitchers. They've got two left-handed starters this weekend. Devin Futrell, the guy who's throwing tonight, is making his SEC debut, but has made 10 midweek appearances. He's a lefty. And then Carter Holton, who starts Sunday's game, is also a lefty, and not just a lefty, but a freshman. So they'll have two of their three starters this weekend are true freshman left-handers tonight and Sunday, and then they've got a couple of guys that they might go to out of the bullpen too. So they'll do a little mixing and matching, though I do think that Arkansas has got a severe edge as far as the relief pitching is concerned. I know Vandy's always got good arms, but they've been younger and they've been a little hot and cold. The Arkansas bullpen right now is ready to go. I'm close to feeling like if the Razorbacks have a lead in the seventh inning this weekend, then that's it. Then it's like you can shorten the game with as well as this bullpen is pitching, especially at home right now.
Yeah, you definitely can. I mean, the pitching advantage that you have right now, especially with the emergence of Will McIntyre, you've gotten great pitching from all aspects. I mean, you've had great starting pitching, you've had great relief pitching, and then you've had great closing, all season long. And Brady Taggart, who has just absolutely dominated the SEC this year. So you feel like, I agree with you, if you get to the seventh inning and you've got a lead, you feel pretty confident that lead's not going to get squashed. You feel good about it. And when it comes into this series, even though Vandy is still a good team, they're not the Vandy of old. So this is a weekend that Arkansas needs to worry about more what they do more than what Vandy does best. Ultimately, don't worry about, all right, if we keep Vandy under this or we keep Vandy from doing that, then this is how you win the ball game. No, if you can just keep the bats rolling the way that you had it last weekend, keep pitching, keep the ball down, it should be a good weekend for Arkansas. I mean, I don't know if I'd call it a sweep, but 2 out of 3 is, I'm pretty confident.
Were you going to say ain't bad?
I almost did.
Yeah, it's too cliched now for the last.
You stopped yourself, but I still made you do it anyway.
I almost thought you were going to bring up a 3 out of 4 ain't bad yesterday. I forget exactly what it was we were talking about.
I almost did, actually. I remember thinking it.
This is two of the best programs in the SEC, and two coaches, and Tim Corbin and Dave Van Horn, that are they're both in their 20th year at their program. And where Dave took a program in Arkansas that was already at a good level under Norm DeBrine, and then took it to another level himself, and then another level after that. Like, Corbin took a program in Vanderbilt that nobody really – like, if you thought SEC baseball, Vanderbilt might have been near last on the list.
And it's just hard to believe
in the 90s.
All I've known is a dominant Vanderbilt program. I mean, that's all I've known. I mean, I'm going to admit I didn't follow college baseball when Corbin took over Vanderbilt because I was 6 or 7 years old. But as long as I've been following the game of college baseball, about middle school to high school, and then obviously through that, Vanderbilt has been a great program, and it's been a program that a lot of people want to play for.
Well, they play very hard. They will do some things that a lot of other teams don't do. Like and case in point is having a guy like Bradfield on the team. Did you know on Tuesday they almost lost to Indiana State? They're down 4 runs in the 9th inning to Indiana State. They rally back, end up with the tying run at third base, 2 outs, and it's Bradfield who's the runner. And Indiana State is a left-handed pitcher. They've got runners first and third, 2 outs. Bradfield executes a straight steal of home plate to tie the game. 2 outs in the 9th inning. Like, that is as gutsy of a call as I've ever seen in my life. And I know they sent the runner from first toward second, but I mean, Bradfield had already scored by the time the pitcher even knew what was going on. It was nuts.
Yeah, that dude's fast. I saw that video of him doing that, and Vanderbilt, they do take risks. They're not afraid to push the envelope a little bit, like you said. I mean, 2 outs. Are you really going to try to let the game be won or lost at the plate? What's the old adage? Never make the third out at third or home. So
yes. So
to have the guts to make that call, I mean that's a pretty gutsy one to do. But with this Vanderbilt team, I don't know. Maybe I've bought into the confidence that most people are having in this Razorback team, and I'm just not worried personally. I mean, I wouldn't be that worried because I think Arkansas, while they still haven't hit their full stride, they're closer than they've ever been at this point in the season. I don't think you can point back to a previous part of the season where you'd say that they played better that weekend or they played better there. I think they really, with that Auburn series, getting those 2 out of 3 on the road, getting the bats going a little bit better, having some more timely hitting, this is where Arkansas is hitting their stride, and you hope that it goes up, continues to do so.
And Arkansas has been, I know to a lot of people it's felt like an up-and-down season. It hasn't been an up-and-down season.
You've lost 2 series.
It's mostly been a really good year.
You haven't been swept once.
Vanderbilt has had the up-and-down season. I mean, they've had winning streaks of like 13 or 14 games, won 3 SEC series in a row, then lost 3 in a row. I mean, they've been the team that's been the up-and-down team. It's not been a roller coaster for Arkansas baseball. It's been what you sort of are used to, which is winning a lot of games, but just not at the win margin that you're used to winning these games at.
Thank you. I'm glad you threw that out there.
You're welcome.
It's gonna be a good weekend for Arkansas. I'm seeing a 4-biscuit margarine this weekend. At least a 4-biscuit margarine tonight. Vandy might come back tomorrow. Might only be a 1.5 margarine. Arkansas is gonna put the, as Eddie would say, they're gonna bring the wood. We know it's aluminum, and it's gonna be about an 8 biscuit margarine.
Eddie also texted me today. He's not going to be able to make it to the games this weekend. He's got too much. Got his granddaughter celebrating a birthday. He's got a work function that he wants to be a part of because he's very dedicated to the folks at work. So I guess we're going to have to find other ways to silence the Vandy Whistler. And Eddie in Clarksville would have been the absolute perfect way to do it. But this is not going to be the week for it to happen.
Oh well. Next time.
Can we figure out on Monday if you want to do a segment about the weekend series, about the scapegoat of the series too? Because we can figure that out as well.
Scapegoat. Yes.
That's all right. Well, while you celebrate your 2 weeks ahead of whether Jalen Williams announces if he's staying in the draft or not, man. For your sake now,
you just got to keep me humble. I got too high on this show. I finally got something right, and now you've got to, in a matter of 2 minutes, got to bring up a scapegoat and margarine.
Got to bring you back down.
You got to bring me back down there.
All I know, Drew, is that you better hope that Jalen Williams stays in that draft, man.
He is.
I promise. If he doesn't, we're gonna do 2 hours that just are this. 2 hours of nothing but. Hey, we're brought to you by the Fence Man, not just the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, but it's a great place to work as well. So they're looking for fence builders or folks with building experience. Apply in person in Fort Smith at 1213 North 32nd Street. Fence Man is a great place to work. They'll pay you well and give you a $500 sign-on bonus. That's the Fence Man. Apply in person in Fort Smith, 1213 North 32nd Street, the address. And the Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer. Wrapping up halftime for the week next.
Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Always online at randallford.com. Here with my buddy Dalton. Dalton, I know you love to fish, as do many of our listeners. You like to go to the lake. Well, you need a truck to do so, to pull that boat, have people pile in to go to whether it's Washita, whether it's Beaver, Norfolk. It doesn't matter. You're going to find that here at Randall Ford.
Yeah, we've got probably, I would say, 70 to 80 trucks right now, from low 30,000 to whatever you want to pay. And if you're like me, you need a truck to pull your boat, we've got a bunch of the 3.5 EcoBoost, 5.0s, whatever you need, we got.
And that just makes it easier because you don't want to be the guy that has to just hop on. You want to be able to drag your boat to wherever you fish, and I know that you're a guy that likes to take advantage of that.
Oh, yeah. I don't want somebody taking me. I want to take them. So
absolutely. Come by and see Dalton today. Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, or always online at randallford.com.
Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company has two locations, 1316 South Zero and 200 South Zero Street in Fort Smith, serving the glass and glazing needs of Fort Smith, Northwest Arkansas, and Eastern Oklahoma, commercial and residential. Tub and shower enclosures, mirrors, glass table, and countertops cut to custom size are just a few services offered by Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company. Arkansas Glass and Mirror stocks laminate glass, plexiglass, Lexan, window glass, and mirror and plate glass. For more information, call 646-4300. That's 646-4300.
Fishing never stops. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle has everything from jigs to raincoats, Todd Huckabee crappie rods, Bobby Garland crappie jigs, and stay warm and dry with a River West rain suit, the area's largest selection of Zoom plastics, Flash Mob Jr., Kitech swim baits, Mega Bass rods, plus rattle traps, life jackets, and rod and reel repair. Find all the top brands and everything you need at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 1 mile east of I-540 on Highway 64. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Summer's just around the corner, and it is time for Breeden RV's trade-up event. Trade in your old RV and get up to $5,000 over NADA trade-in value and start camping in a brand new travel trailer, fifth wheel, or motorhome. Don't have a trade-in? That's okay. You will still save thousands of dollars off MSRP on every new RV in stock. Breeden RV also has a great selection of pre-owned trailers, and our parts and service department open 6 days a week to take care of you after the sale. Check us out on Alma Highway in Van Buren or BreedenRVs.com. Breeden RV would like to recognize all the sacrifices by our military men and women. Have a safe and happy Memorial Day.
Growing up, my parents always encouraged me to do what's right, even if it wasn't easy. I'd always hear my mother's voice say, "Do the right thing." That stuck with me. Every day, just do the right thing. That's it. The rest takes care of itself.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe in doing the right thing for our customers and our communities.
Ask Shelter agent Phil Hicks about a free insurance review.
Breaking news from our area. The recent hailstorm has left thousands with roof damage. The certified roofing experts at Elite Roofing are on standby. Call now, 479-478-8668. The hailstorm has left many with damage that needs immediate attention. Elite Roofing is ready. Licensed in both Arkansas and Oklahoma. Trust the professionals. Elite Roofing, 479-478-8668. Elite Roofing, one call does it all.
Carco Auto Sales takes great pride in serving Fort Smith, the River Valley, and eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years, offering a variety of quality, late model, low mileage vehicles at unbeatable values. The friendly and knowledgeable staff can help you find the car you deserve, priced to fit your budget. Carco Auto Sales will purchase your vehicle as well. Come see the team at 2810 Midland Boulevard or give them a call at 783-1722. Check them out online at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales, when you're ready.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey! It's
It's a big job just getting by with 9 kids and a wife. But I've been working, man, dang near all my life, and I'll keep on working long as my 2 hands are fit to use. I'll drink my beer in a tavern, sing a little bit of these working man blues.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at PhilElsonPXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Wrapping things up here on Halftime. Before we do that, though, I want to remind you what's going on this weekend at 906 Garrison Avenue in Fort Smith. That is the place that you find the best cigars anywhere in the state of Arkansas. Top shelf spirits, great food, lovely atmosphere, high-class atmosphere at 906 Garrison Avenue in Fort Smith. 906lounge.com is the website. Go to their Facebook page for their events, and they are open tonight until 1, same as tomorrow. Oh, boy, I've just pulled up an article that I get to read once this is done. Got your George Carlin documentary out later this month on HBO Max, and now I'm going to be reading a Carlin article. It's great. 14 years after his death, and he's just about as important now as he was throughout his amazing career. You don't need to get into that, though.
I know you love George Carlin, and how exciting would it be if we found out that there was like an hour-long special that he had recorded before he passed away.
This Norm Macdonald thing is pretty awesome, isn't it?
Found out yesterday. There's an hour-long Norm Macdonald special that he recorded in his living room. Never got to get in front of an audience to do it because of the coronavirus, but I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's May 30th it's going to come out.
That means there's no audience to tell you when to laugh.
I was about to say, it kind of seems like it might be a little awkward. He's just giving the punchline and there's just silence.
No,
like,
the one thing about
you'll laugh, but at the same time it'd be a little awkward. Like you're
one
the
thing
only
about
person
his
in the
stuff
room
was
laughing.
it was awkward anyways usually, and I don't think he really he wasn't necessarily relying on the laughs anyways, and it was a lot of his stuff seemed like it was train of thought, just going from one thing to the other. Because I did get to see him,
Did you guys see Bo Burnham's Inside that he did the first few months of the shutdown?
That was amazing.
Yeah, you had me watch it for halftime homework.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. And it was funny and depressing all at the same time. And I don't think
I'm a big Bo Burnham fan too.
Well, I don't think you'll feel depressed watching this Norm Macdonald thing because you're uplifted just the fact that there's still something behind that you haven't seen.
Well, I did see an article from David Spade said that it made him cry.
I'm sure it did. Yeah. I'm sure it did.
But I think they're gonna have like interviews from like Adam Sandler and some of his friends. And
That'd be good to kind of like in between jokes and stuff, make it more of like an actual. Like a documentary, and then just instead of like a straight 1 hour special.
It may have been at that same thing that the Dave Chappelle thing happened at the other day. That Netflix is a joke. Yeah. I think they filmed a bunch of stuff there that may be used in it.
Hey Drew, how many schedule release videos do you have to watch left if you're going to make it through all 32 NFL teams?
I've watched.
I can't watch this.
Why? They're so good. A lot of them are good. They really are. Like some of the ones that are super good. The Cowboys actually did a great job. They had very known and public Cowboy hater Stephen A. Smith in it, and it was quite funny the way that they did that. L.A. continued their heist thing from their draft video that they put out.
Also, the Steelers used Cam Hayward as the schedule protector.
Yes.
I made it through half that video. I was like, this is...
you couldn't even make it through the full... So you have no idea what happened with the schedule?
I mean, I know who the Steelers are playing and when they're playing. I didn't watch their schedule release video.
I mean, did Cam Hayward protect the schedule for the entire 4.5 minutes?
I don't know. The last thing I saw was him take Najee Harris's phone away and throw it into the woods.
Did you even make it to the Franco cameo?
That was the last thing I saw. It was a thing signed by Franco Harris that Hayward was open. At that point, I was like, well, they're going. This is way.
Do you want me to ruin it for you? Are you going to go back and watch it? Or do you want me to ruin it?
I am not going to go. Please ruin it for me.
So Franco O'Hara ends up when he caught that and they do the immaculate reception joke. and he winks at the camera, he's actually winking because he switched the scheduled paperwork out, and he released the schedule early. It was a big switcheroo type of move. And
Gosh,
Maddie needs
that
to watch.
Sneaky Franco Harris,
I know.
man. By the way, 50-year anniversary of the Immaculate Reception in December.
Wow. Matt, speaking of these videos, Maddie, you will love the Carolina Panthers one. It is full of
said it was like a
90s nostalgia, like out the frame. I promise you will love it. The best one, though, and the first time I watched it, I kind of was just dumbfounded, just like, what the heck did I watch? You know, just having that like open mouth like reaction, like type of thing. Was the LA Chargers. And they did a full-on anime release of it.
How long are most of these videos?
I'd say
5 minutes?
an average of 2:45, but there are some that go for about 4:30, like the Steelers did. I think I've watched probably 20. The worst video there is, though, was Cleveland. And
well, that makes sense.
Yeah, their video,
that's on brand.
Their tweet says we've got to go to we got to hang the banners for this one, and like they do like banners on the stadium seats of their opponents or at home. And instead of
Cleveland's got no banners to hang of their own, man.
Instead of it being like one banner say RA, the next banner saying VE, and the next one saying ENS, they have it switched to where it says VERAENS, and they do that for every team. So where I think the joke is that the other team can't spell, but then they also do it to themselves. So are they trying to get across that no one at the Cleveland Browns front office knows how to spell?
Well, they don't know how to draft
It was
either,
pretty
so
bad. It was really bad.
Maybe those things go together. You know, it would take you like about 2 3/4 hours to watch every NFL schedule release video.
I've already wasted a good hour and 15 of my life on it.
Well, you can waste another hour and 30 minutes on it, man. I mean, maybe you can, I don't know, you've got big plans this weekend. You're going to need some time after you eat your first 50 ribs at the Memphis Rib Fest or the Memphis Barbecue Fest.
Yes.
You're going to need some time to sit there, loosen your belt, and watch something. So I think you could watch the rest of these NFL videos this weekend, can't you?
I mean, I'll make some time to finish them out, but also that a lot of the tents there will be TV set up with playoffs on, so I'll be able to eat, drink, and be merry while watching the Grizzlies tonight down at Tiger Lane, because it's moved this year because they're doing renovations on Tom Lee Park, so it's not actually by the river this year, but it's set to go back next year. So.
Maddie, how crappy do you think Drew's going to feel when he sits in that chair to do halftime with us on Monday?
I don't know.
I think he's going to fall asleep.
I don't know. I can hold myself.
I was going to say he's done this before, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I'm a grizzled veteran at this point.
Yeah.
Well, for some folks in Memphis, this would be your raison d'etre. Your reason to be.
Yes. Real quick, before we finish out the week, I do want to just give a quick birthday shout out to my father. Happy birthday, Dad! 1 year away from the Whites. He'll know what that means.
I think that's in reference to your upcoming wedding.
No, it's 1 year away from he turned 60 next year, so he can hit from the White tees.
Okay, yeah, that's a little inside golf humor that maybe Grant on 99.5
Some other people
would
might
have
have gotten
known
it, yeah.
for the next show, Press Row. Have yourself a great weekend. And for Maddie and Drew, this is Phil. We'll see you Monday. Get up, get out, get better.
Nobody has more pre-owned trucks than Harry Robinson's Sonasol Ford. Work trucks, heavy-duty four-wheel drive trucks, single cab, extended cab, and four-wheel drive crew cab trucks. Fords, Chevys, GMCs,